Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 42 of the Hilltop Sports Report podcast. This is a very special edition of the show as I have the new head football coach here on the Hilltop. Curt Ritchie joins me on this episode of the podcast. I'm excited to jump into this episode, so without further ado, let's hit the music and start the show.
Let's go Rams! Let's go Rams!
So Curt Ritchie is my very special guest on this episode of the podcast. First of all, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, in case you don't know, Coach Curt Ritchie comes to the Hilltop after 24 years of experience at Williamsburg High School right here in the state of Iowa. So, from the high school ranks now to Cornell. Naturally, the first question I have to ask you, Coach, is after 24 years coaching at Williamsburg and 32 years coaching on the high school circuit, what was that factor that made you choose Cornell? Why now, and why Cornell?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are wondering that question. I've been asked it a lot, and I think the big thing for me there's a lot of reasons, but I think the biggest one for me was just I've always had this opportunity. I've had some opportunities in the past, and just never did them just because of family reasons, and just my wife and I decided we wanted to have a home and have a place our kids called home, and Williamsburg's been great for that. It's a tremendous place, and I think why it ended up here is just because. Truthfully, it was just the people. A lot of the same things I felt at Williamsburg as soon as I went through the interview, met Mr. Meeker, everybody on campus. I could just see the amount of pride that the people have in this place, and that excited me to jump in and try to help.
Well, that's fantastic. And you built a perennial state contender at Williamsburg High School throughout your years there, and so you have that resume. It obviously checks all the boxes. What about college football appeals to you now, and what are some of the things that you want to instill in the program starting here in year one?
Yeah, I think the big thing is just for me it was just the new challenge of last year I got to go help at the University of Dubuque a little bit in the spring, and just found that real rewarding with college kids and trying to just watch them grow and deal with their first time away from home sometimes, and helping them through that, and I really enjoyed that, and just something I've decided I wanted to try to do. I've always worked with kids on the other side of it, trying to make the choice and work them through it as they get there from the high school levels. So just wanted to be something that we in year one here, we just establish a place where kids can come and get a great education, get a degree that really means something, and then learn some skills through the football program that'll help them rise to the top of their profession, and as far as work ethic and commitment and understanding teamwork.
That's fantastic. And now to some of the connections that you already had here on the Hilltop prior to accepting the position. Head coach Dave Schlaba of the men's basketball program spent some time at Williamsburg. What factor did he play in making this decision, and describe the relationship that you have with Coach Schlaba?
Yeah, Coach Schlaba, he was with us at Williamsburg, and it really became just like here at Williamsburg, it becomes a family connection. I've been able to watch his kids grow up a little bit during that time, take them on vacations with us, and there's a relation. My oldest daughter is married to a brother of his oldest daughter, so a husband. So it's just it's a connection that was always pretty strong. And last year when I'd be driving back and forth to Dubuque, I would make this my stop sometimes, and I could just see how much he's really enjoying his time here and trying to build the basketball program and keep it where he wants it. And I kind of rubbed off on me probably a little bit.
That's fantastic. And now to some of the success that you had at Williamsburg, and describing some of the factors that played into that. Starting with the two most prestigious players that came through your program, and Caden Weechen, who had tremendous success at the University of Iowa in 2024, and then also you had an offensive lineman who happened to play in Super Bowl 52 in Austin Blythe. So describe the impact those two guys made on you and how they represent the type of success that you want to have your football players experience.
Sure, I think that with both those guys, those are the two that everybody knows. But I think for me, it was really just the early years. We were able to have, I think we won I don't even remember, 20 of our first 21 games those first couple of years, 3 years. So those guys really made the first commitment and had some really good players early. And then, then Austin, when he came through, actually, I always give him a hard time of the four brothers in that family. He is the only one who never got to play in the Unidome in the Final Four. So, but he does have a couple legs up on us, and the fact that he did play, as you mentioned, in a couple places we didn't get to play, such as the Super Bowl. So he kind of got the last say on that one. But he's, and then with him, it's just, he's been named my successor at Williamsburg, which is a big moment that happened just yesterday. So we're excited for him there, and he's such a humble guy that he. We had to convince him he was qualified for the job to be the head football coach at Williamsburg, and I tried telling him, look, compared to where all of us started in coaching, you're a genius. I mean, you know way more than we knew. So, but that's just who he is, and I think that's what I've really found during that time with those NFL guys is just the humility and the humble, the drive to get better and work, the commitment to it. I think he's a great example of that. He's perfect for it, and the fact that he's he'll always tell you he's a husband and a father first and a football player second, which is huge because, he's married to my daughter and he's also the father of my grandkids. So I'm glad to hear him say that. So he's good. And then Caden, I think, is just a perfect example of a kid who, he just plays because he loves the game of football. He's he just has so much fun playing. He's committed to it. He believed in himself. I tried to get everybody. All my friends that were in college coaching, I told them when they were coming out, you are missing the boat on this kid. I know he's only 5'9", but he's dynamite. And nobody would believe me until now. They all wish they would have maybe believed me. So it's just good to see a kid who's stuck it out, kept believing in himself, kept fighting for himself. Just watch him succeed and get a little bit of notoriety, I guess.
Absolutely, and all of those qualities are really what you want to have in a Division III football player. So now as you hit the recruiting trail for 2025 and beyond, what are the type of kids that you want to have in your program? You've already alluded to it a little bit, but describe the type of guy that you want to have in the Cornell football program.
Yeah, when I've talked to recruits, that's been the big thing right now is I just want them, we got to have this Division III football might be the last division of football that still has just, you're doing it because you love the game. And that's what we need. We need kids who just want to keep playing and just want to keep getting the opportunity to grow and get better, understand what the game teaches them. So that's the main thing we're looking for is just that desire to keep playing and get better every day. And then I think, we just talked to them a lot about the fact that, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So just understanding that, it's doing that in every part of your life, whether it be the classroom, how you treat people, how you are as a teammate, all those things.
Fantastic. And now staff-wise, some of the previous administration now comes over to this staff, right? You have some of those coaches returning assistant-wise. So describe what you're looking for in those assistants and kind of break it down who's going to be handling what next year.
Yeah, so as of right now, we have not made a lot of changes. We're, I'll give these guys, I've told the players and them, thanked them as much as I can that, at Williamsburg, I was fortunate enough to have, 13 or 14 assistant coaches, only 4 of which were paid. I don't know why the others hung around so much, but they did. Some of them, 4 of them have been with me for over 20 years. So, if we could start establishing that kind of continuity and just experience over time, I think is big. And we've gotten off to a great start. The coaches that are here have done a really nice job of helping me learn not only about Cornell College, but just what we need to get done college recruiting wise, and the football part of it, just kind of seems to be football. But the other parts are just the learning and the excitement. They've done a great job with that. And then so right now I've given them a lot of credit because we are running a couple coaches down from the previous staff. We have at least 1 offensive opening and 1 defensive opening. So some of the coaches, Coach Jusick and Coach Caldemark, have done a great job of, they've done really truthfully double duty. Coach K is trying to take care of the receivers and the quarterbacks. Coach trying to take care of the linebackers and the D-line. So that means double meetings, double teaching. Didn't really want that for our players starting off, but the big thing is I wanted to see, as you talk about what I'm looking for a guy who is going to make relationships with kids, going to love the kids, take care of them like a parent, make it an important part of life, but also be good teachers of the game and life. So that's really what I was looking for to see this spring is how this staff does that. How do we impact kids when we're on the playing field? How do we impact them outside of that? And these guys have been tremendous. So I'm just really, really excited to work with all of them.
That's fantastic. And now kind of switching gears to your personal philosophy. We'll go a little bit philosophical here. So coaching wise, how do you approach discipline? What does that mean to you? And maybe if a player is out of line, what are some of the steps that you're going to take to try and get them back in as a part of the team and buying in 100%?
Sure. I think that's the biggest thing. I think there's a lot of advantages coming from the high school ranks. You've had to deal with a lot of those things from not only like a perspective of how you are as a team using the abilities of your team, because in high school football that changes drastically from year to year, but also just motivating kids from, with all different discipline levels. So I've been able to do that. I think the big thing is just understanding each kid and who they are and what drives them. So for me, as far as, just teaching discipline, it really comes down to that. Every kid is different. They all need to be handled differently in those things. Obviously, the expectation doesn't change, but the way you go about it with each kid can change. And the fact that some kids need to be pushed a little hard. Some of them just need to sit down and let you know that you want something better for them. Other kids need to be motivated a little bit more. So we're just trying to learn that still. And right now, I'm just trying to see how the team does that, how they react to adversity, how they handle changes. It's a game of momentum, and we're trying to develop that in our practices. Some hard times, some easy times. See how they react, see how they stick together, and see if we can get them to break down a little bit, or if they fight through and help each other out.
Well, another key point that I want to ask you about is retention. So at the Division III ranks, especially in football, sometimes on a year-to-year basis, that roster is going to be shuffling. How do you approach that, and what are some of your key selling points at keeping guys in your program year in and year out?
Yeah, and I think we've all seen that. I've seen that from the high school level as far as kids who go to college to play, and maybe, the percentage of those that stick it out isn't really high either. So I was kind of aware of it from the other end, but the big thing I think again is, people don't want to let other people down. People they care about, you don't let down people you care about. So I think that is the big thing, is developing a close-knit, tight unit, kids who care about each other, kids that have great relationships, and then they just want to stay together. That's what it is as a family. You try to always want to be there for your family. So I think the big thing for us is just trying to bring these kids closer and closer together in a lot of different aspects, so that they just want to spend their 4 years together and finish it out.
That's a fantastic answer, and I'm putting you on the spot here as a follow-up to that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about building that close-knit community, and what are some of the ways that you were able to accomplish that at Williamsburg that you're going to carry on here to Cornell?
Yeah, I think that's the one unique thing about Williamsburg that I have found is that, our kids, all my 4 kids, they still, I could even say the same thing about Austin Blythe and Caden Weegan. They are always back. When Austin goes to a gathering or goes on a boys trip or whatever you want to call it, it is with his high school friends. And I think it's just, and some of them weren't even football players, it's just guys that they grew up with. And I think that's what you have to establish is as many ways on the field and off the field as you can to get these guys together and to experience different things together. I think that's the biggest thing. So we'll start building that in as spring ball kind of continues here before they get out of here in May. We'll try to find ways to bring them together on the field and off the field, and so that'll kind of catapult us into the fall and continue to build that.
Can't wait for the fall, but first things first, spring ball is happening right now, as you just mentioned. What are some of the things that you're trying to instill in the program here, instill what is relatively a new program for you? You were named in March, so this is kind of the first month on the job, so to speak. What are your goals for spring ball, and how has the team been looking in the early going?
Yeah, I think we've had 2 practices, so day 3 will be on Sunday, so we're excited about that. But I think for me, it's just establishing that culture of preparation. I think that confidence is built through preparation. I want a team who, by the time we run out there on Saturday, they're really, really confident that they're going to be able to get the job done. I think that only happens if you've prepared really, really hard and believe in the preparation and the game plan. So that's what we're trying to establish right now is just the way we prepare. So it's really, I would guess that for these guys, it's a difference in tempo. It's a difference in how you handle things when things are going well and how things are going bad. We try to build all that into our practice. And I'm a guy who likes to go fast. So, I've looked at a little bit of their scripts from last year to how many plays we're getting through this year. And there's a pretty drastic difference, it looks like to me. I haven't really asked the players about that, but I feel like they've really what I've been impressed with. I have hundreds of people ask me after the first day how it went, and I'm not sure I could have been any happier. Truthfully, these guys, man, they're just very coachable. Work hard, give great effort, want to please. They are able to change quickly, and when you ask them to change something, and just really intelligent guys that want to do well.
Well, my ears just perked up when you said up-tempo. So schematic-wise, what are some of the things that fans can expect from Coach Curt Ritchie's version of Cornell football upcoming next season and beyond?
Right. And I think that becomes common in all three areas of the game, whether it be defense, special teams, or offense. We want to be attacking and all those things. We want to make people be aware that anything can happen after play every inch of the grass offensively. I'm a guy who, I haven't sat down and figured the year, but I don't know if we've huddled since for about 18 years. So it's something I bought into early. That was the best thing about being at Williamsburg. I was allowed to comfortable enough to think outside the box. So we were probably one of the first schools in the state who were an RPO team for probably 8 years. We haven't done a run play without a pass attached. So it's just been we like to attack every bit of grass, and we like to do that at tempo. And the way we kind of teach it to guys is that it's easier to slow down than it is to go fast. So we like to prepare really, really fast, and then if the game comes to a point where you want to just slow down, then it seems really, really easy and boring sometimes. But that's what you'll hopefully see. I'm a guy who likes to distribute the ball to many people. Obviously, you got to get the ball to your playmakers, but I want all of our guys to feel like they're going to be asked to make a play for us at some time. Defensively, I want a team that's going to run to the football like they're care about each other and helping each other a ton. So they're going to run to the football and be attacking over there, and I want them to feel comfortable enough on the defensive side that they can take some chances and they can be aggressive. And same way on special teams. I love any sort of fake or want that to be a threat on that part too. So I want to feel like we're always in control of the attacking part, not always on the defense.
Well, I love that philosophy. And now we're just going to kind of bounce around for the rest of the podcast and go back in time. So to your development as a coach and some of the mentors that you had when you were just starting out and kind of defining what it was to be a coach personally. So who were those people to you and what impacts did they make on you?
Sure. Oh man, it's a long list. If there's one thing I've done really, really well in my career, it is I have found people who are willing to help. And that's one thing about the coaching profession, I think. There are a lot of people out there, though it's a competitive thing, that will sit down and spend the time to help you if you'll ask. So I've always done that. Probably one of the biggest, I don't know if I'd say of mentors, but one of the biggest people that's guided me is Tom Wilson is the head football coach at West Des Moines Dowling Catholic. He'll be at practice Sunday, so I'm excited to get him here for the first time and let him see what I'm so excited about. But these, him and I were named we're both elementary teachers, our first job back in 1990. So we're talking a few years ago. We were hired as elementary teachers at English Valleys. Again, didn't really know exactly what we were doing necessarily, but we knew we had a common, what I learned from him is that, you're as long as kids know you care about them, they're willing to go an extra mile for you. So we definitely pushed that to the limit. We pushed kids really hard, but we cared about kids really hard. And it's led to pretty successful high school careers for both of us. Obviously, I've believed he's the best coach in high school football for quite some time. So he continues to do great things at Dowling Catholic. Early on in my profession, I was needing some direction of leadership and what I wanted to be. And Ed Thomas at Appleton Parkersburg became that for us for sure. I would take my teams up to Coach Thomas at Applington at his camp. He'd come and work camps for us at Williamsburg. We traveled around, did lineman camps, a lot of places, learned a lot about the development of fundamentals and again, just caring about kids from him. He had a great passion for it. So he was a huge mentor for me. We're excited to the Iowa High School Athletic Association Football Association gives the Ed Thomas Award every year to a kid in each class of football. And Austin and I have decided we own a business together called Legacy Acres Hunting Club, and we have taken over the Ed Thomas Award. So we're excited to be a supporter of that because he. Austin was part of his camp, so he had an impact on him as well. So we're excited to do that for them, Ed and his family for sure. Oh man, as far as I go to other mentors, I've been impacted by so many. Coach McMartin at Central College is a very good friend of mine that I've learned and watched as he grows up. Coach my area, coach at Dubuque, even though he's younger, I've learned a lot of offensive football together with him. Yeah, so I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of people, but there's just a lot of good football coaches out there, a lot of good people. I could go into people that coached me. I could go into, obviously I went into teaching just like a lot of us because we got impacted by a coach at some time, and for me there was many. My stepfather was not really into sports, but I had a love for him, so we had a lot of high school coaches that really took me in and helped share that passion for it. So they're definitely people I still reach out to.
Well, that's so wonderful to hear. And I just wanted to follow up on something you just said, talking about the hunting. So over the other day at softball at Van Meter Family Softball Field, Coach Ryan Kaltenmark was the event coordinator, having a little chat with him. And he mentioned that he hadn't ever been hunting before. So he said that you were going to get him out on a hunt. So describe hunting as a part of your life and your passion for it.
Yeah. As I said before, my dad was never really a part of my life, but the two things that I did with him was sports and hunting. So the thing that's always stuck with me, it's always been the things I love. It's probably the thing that my oldest son and I have in common now. He's kind of running it while I'm here, so that's awesome. But Legacy Acres Hunting Club is an upland bird hunting thing. So we're hunting pheasants and quail and chukar and birds. We do some turkey hunts in the spring, but it's mainly a fall activity. I've been training and guiding dogs since the early 90s for the old owners. It's called Safari Iowa. And 2017-18, the old owners, who are amazing people, Larry and Jan Statler, I would say they're mentors for sure in a lot of areas of my life. They were getting to be in their 80s, and it was time to move on, I guess. I don't know if they thought so, but their family thought they should, just because they kept getting hurt out there. So it's time to move on. So anyway, they knew I'd spent a lot of time there and had a passion for it. So Austin was able to help, and we purchased it, and it's really just grown into a place where our goal is just to have a place, provide a place where people can come with their families and friends and enjoy some upland bird hunting together. So it's a great business to be in, and great people.
That's fantastic and so wonderful that you're passionate about it. One of the last two questions that I have for you is about your family. So you mentioned that at the very beginning of our podcast and the importance of your family in making this decision to move over to Cornell. Describe just how important they are to you, your wife and children, and what they're going to do as supporting you here as you embark on your first collegiate season as a head football coach.
So I'll start with my wife, Kim. That's and you'll find I tend to get emotional, and usually when I talk about people I care about, but this is one of them for sure. So I'm going to fight through this. But luckily, I just did the Hall of Fame speech, so I've dealt with it a little bit here. But the big thing is with my wife, Kim. She's I always tell people you got to have a good football wife. Everybody understands that because it's definitely a demanding thing. But she understands this is my passion and has always supported it. She may be more passionate about it than me. She's always been on the sideline with me doing stats, mainly because I couldn't have her in the stands trying to argue with people who said something bad or that she took as bad. But anyway, she always tell people that there's a story I could tell. So my first year I came back to coaching. I coached at my old high school at English Valleys for my high school coach named Tim Carson. And so the very first game we upset the number one team in the state, Sigourney, and Coach Carson is a huge win for him, and we definitely celebrated and had a great time. It was fun to see that excitement for him. he passed away that weekend. Had a massive heart attack and passed away, which was a terrible thing in itself. But it basically, because the funeral arrangements pushed the game back from a Friday to Saturday, September 9th, 1989, and that happened to be the day I was scheduled to get married. So Mrs. Ritchie, to her credit, we had a wedding, then we went to a football game, and then we had a reception. So if you can find I always tell people, if you can find a football wife that's willing to do that, you're probably going to be okay. So, and our kids would tell you she's always been the thing that holds it together. She's going to still. The best thing that she's done is she's kept our kids close. We've always kept our kids close. So you'll find that we tend to travel in a pack. We do a lot of awesome things together as a family. Anyway, I think it's important to our kids. It's important to us. So we have 4 kids. We have 2 girls and 2 boys. Kylie is married to Austin, so it's Kylie Blythe, and she's our oldest, and she's her mother, and she looks the same, she acts the same, has the same fighting attitude, and we've all dealt with it. And she has 3 children, and her middle one, Callie, is just like both of them. So it's fun to see her get to deal with that a little bit. But Reed's 8, and he looks just like his dad. So I'm looking forward to watching him as he continues to have fun. He's just an awesome kid, and then Callie, and then they have a little one, Hayden. So we have 3 grandkids there that you guys will see run around on the sidelines, I'm sure, at a lot of events. Our next daughter is Sadie, and she's married to Colton. They own a landscaping business in Parnell called Green Top, and they work extremely hard, and Colton's done a great job with that, and is a great father. They had their first baby, so we have baby Finley. She's about 7 months old now, and so we're excited for them to add. And then my oldest son is Gavin, and Gavin is he's now running the Hunt Club, and he's married to Allie. So we have a daughter-in-law, Allie, and then we have Curt Ritchie, and Cade is our baby, and he's 21, and he lives in Iowa City. He's always coached my quarterbacks for me at Williamsburg, and has a really good football. Our connection's always been football. So we're excited to get them to be part of this, and I'm sure they won't miss any games on Saturdays. So I'm excited to have them there with us.
That's fantastic. And the last question that I have for you is really tying off of the quote that head coach Jeff Meeker, the director of athletics here at Cornell College, had for you in the opening article that was written about you, and that is to instill a championship program here at Cornell. How do you define a championship program? Is it just as far as the wins and losses, or does it go to the personal aspect as well? And really, how excited are you at trying to get this program back to what the Rams want it to be at the top of the heap in the Midwest Conference?
Yeah, sure. I think that, the best part that happened this week was Coach Meeker had scheduled a call with the alumni. So we did that on, I believe it was Wednesday night or Tuesday night. But anyway, we had a alumni call, and just to hear those, the guys from back when in the program, some of them, they would tell me their age. They told me a lot of things that should be going on here, but it was really the highlight of my week, and the fact just listening to them and all the pride they have in this place and this program. So it really drives you to try to make them proud, and I think you only do that by just like anything else. You gotta instill yourself in every part of it. You got to commit yourself to every little aspect of it you can, and good things only happen if you do that. So. That is where we're just going to try to get better each and every day and everything we do, and that'll lead to great things in the end.
That's fantastic, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time on this episode. Really great insight and just a tremendous introduction to you here on the Hilltop.
All right, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, so follow along as Coach Curt Ritchie and the Rams embark on the 2025 season. This upcoming fall, spring ball is going on right now, so if you walk by Van Meter Field, you might be able to catch and perhaps one of the practices here during the spring. So thank you so much to Curt Ritchie. My name is Jumpin' Jack Carlson, speaking on behalf of the Cornell College Rams. Signing off for this episode, inviting you to follow along on the Cornell Rams social media platforms for updates as to when the next episode will drop. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Let's go Rams! Let's go Rams!